Hi, I'd like to take a few minutes to show you two different poses that you can do, very restorative, relaxing poses that can help to reduce anxiety, can help to quiet the mind, help us to feel more grounded or stable, and really reduce our sense of anxiousness, nervous tension, or flat out anxiety. I think in the world today, a lot of us are feeling this in one way or another. And now here in Northern California, well, all of California, we have our fire season, and that can be very unsettling. So the first pose I would like to show you is a seated straddle. And there's a couple ways to do this, and it really depends on your flexibility. So I'm going to turn sideways here so you can see this. And the first option, if you are fairly flexible in the inner thighs, and you have a bolster, that's the other thing here. You want to have some kind of a bolster or several blankets that you can fold for height. And I happen to have two very thick cotton blankets. I just love these. But you can even say take a couple of king size blankets and fold them up really thickly as well. So I'm going to place one on top of the bolster. The bolster's going to be just a little bit away from me. I'm not looking for a stretch. Okay, we want to find a place to just let go and relax. So I'm going to pull the blanket in towards my belly, and I'm going to lie down here. I have quite a bit of flexibility, but I am dropping into maybe more of a stretch than I would like to find in this pose, because it may not enable me to really let go and relax for several minutes. So the next option is to take a second blanket. I can also simply fold this one, so that extra length here I can fold for my head, and that's pretty good. Right, so it is really fussing and kind of playing with this. But I'm going to try the second blanket I have and see how this feels. I'm going to bring this one on top. And I was already playing with this a little bit, so I kind of know that I'd like to bring this even higher, right? And it's really soothing if you bring the blankets right up to the belly there. Okay? And then lay my head here. And that feels just about right. I'm allowing my spine to round. I'm not feeling a stretch here. My feet are dropping. It's just a completely relaxing pose, not much of a stretch. And then if that's still too much, or you're feeling like you're having to lift it even higher, then another option is to use the chair. I'm going to move these props off to the side. And then the chair is another wonderful way to find this pose, and maybe not even have, need all those props. So I have a little eye pillow with flaxseed in it, so it makes it kind of a soft place for my head to land. Because here we're going to put the pressure on our third eye, but with the nose free. So the farther away the chair is from you, the more you're having to reach forward, the more stretch you're going to feel. So we're going to pull it fairly close. And I want to have my nose free, right? So I'm not pressuring on my nose. I'm going to bring a little bit so my neck feels more extended. We rest the arms on the chair. Right? And again, I'm going to let my back round. It's okay. We're not in a major stretch here. It's not an active stretch. And then breathe here. Okay, so that's an option. And then the last option I'll show you is I'm going to take one of my blankets. I'm going to put my blanket up here so it's really nice and high. Okay. And then I can rest it here. And then once you've found the position that feels just right for you, the place that you can really let go, allow that gentle pressure on the third eye and your forehead. Relax your belly and begin to take deep, full body breathing. So the belly expands, the rib cage, the chest, and then you exhale and just slowly let it out. And when we're reducing anxiety, nervousness, anxiousness, it's really nice to take a deep, full breath in through the nose, and then exhale very slowly out through the mouth. And I would recommend that once you found your position, just go ahead and pause the video and stay for about 5 minutes. And then when you're complete with the pose, come back to the video and we'll move into the next pose. The next pose I would like to share with you is legs up the wall. And just like the straddle, seated forward fold, there's many variations to accommodate people and different things that you might have going on in your body. This is also very nice for reducing tension, reducing stress. It can help quiet the mind. It's nice for also reducing fluid in the legs. So if you tend to stand a lot, and this might be a nice way to bring an end to your day or closure to your day. After flying, this is a really nice pose to do. And this is also very nice for the low back. So oftentimes if I've been out in the garden and I'm bent over a lot pulling weeds, or like this morning I spent an hour stacking firewood, my low back will start to feel out a little bit, and this is always a really nice pose to do. So the first option, I've placed my mat lengthwise with a chair, and I've put a blanket down. I'm on a hardwood floor, so I want to make myself as comfortable as possible. So that's just a nice little extra cush for my spine and my tailbone. And I'm going to come right up against the chair and place my calves right here. Okay, and I'm going to roll back. The closer my buttocks is, the more my knees are bent. So either way, you can move a little farther away. I have long legs, so sometimes the chairs don't always have enough room for me. And I'm just going to lie back. And if you have an eye pillow, this is a really nice place to use an eye pillow. And then open your arms a little ways out from your side, palms up. You have the option to also place your palms on your belly in any of the variations of this pose. So either way is fine, just depending on what feels right for you. So this is a really nice way to get into a little bit easier for many people. The next option, we're going to remove the chair. Just move this off to the side. And I'm going to take, again, another little extra blanket because this floor is so hard. So I'm going to just place the blanket here. And I'm going to come right up against the wall. Okay, so I'm rolling to my left. So I'm starting at the right side of the blanket. Okay, and I'm going to come down on my side and just swing my legs up from here. If your hamstrings are tight, you'll want to move a little farther away from the wall. And that'll make that a little bit easier on the hamstrings, right? So this is another option right here. Again, arms can open out a little bit or palms on your belly. Right? And this is a really nice pose. Eye pillow can go on if you'd like, right here. And the last, and you always have an option in any of the poses to place a little blanket or a small pillow underneath the head. As long as the neck stays neutral, we don't want the head to be so far up that it brings that cervical spine out of neutral. Let me just roll to one side here to come out. The last option I'll show you is actually with the bolster. So if you don't have a bolster, you had two options there on which you could do the pose. If you do have a bolster, it just gives a little extra lift to the hips and can be really nice for the low back. Okay, so I have the bolster maybe about an inch or two away from the wall. I just know that's how I like it. You kind of have to play with these things a little bit. Again, I'm going to come up right to the right edge of the bolster, stick my buttocks up against the wall. This is the way I found it to be easiest. And then I just roll up. And now my hips are a little bit higher. And I really like this for my low back. So this is where I feel the low back really finds support. And then again, find your upper body. Shoulders roll back. If you have an eye pillow, place that there. And once again, find your way into that nice deep full breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Allow the belly to rise and fall. Opening up that emotional center, releasing any pent-up emotions. We're going to let that energy out. So again, this might be a nice place once you've settled into your position, or once you know the position you want to find, just pause the video, come into the pose, and stay for several minutes, a minimum of 5, but I would recommend 8 to 10 minutes for either pose. So the practice can take as little as 10 minutes or as many as 20. Once you know the positions that you like for the poses, you'll get into them a little bit more quickly. And the wonderful thing about both of these poses is they can also serve as a way to help you kind of wind down your evening and fall asleep more easily. So if you tend to struggle with falling asleep, either one of these poses is a nice way to just kind of drop in and quiet things down, and then get into bed and see if you don't fall asleep a little bit more easily. So thank you for joining me. I hope that these poses are helpful to you.